Hello everyone, welcome to Grow and O, the garden at Royal Oaks and Orchard. Today I'm going to be giving you a June 2nd spring garden tour. So you might wonder, how can it be spring when it's June 2nd? Well, I'm in Zone 7A and spring ends on June 19th. So we have a long way to go. So that's why June 2nd is considered spring. So to get started, I'll show you these 5 mini garden beds. Well, they're more like planter boxes, but mini garden beds are like their informal name, which I gave them. And I also will hopefully upload a video very soon on how to make these, if you really want to make them. So in this first box here, there are just 2 little plants, and the first plant here is green onions, and the variety is evergreen bunching. And next to it are carrots, which kind of need a trim, and these are Denver half long. That's the variety if you want to grow these. So they need to be trimmed or else they won't grow well. Then moving on over here to the second planter, there are also 2 different plants here, and the first one is ginger. That might be a surprise. Many of you may have never seen ginger grow, but this is how ginger grows. It's kind of like it's a rhizome, which means that it sends out little shoots and it grows underground. So let's see how that turns out. And over here, this plant in the middle is related to tomatoes. It's a pineapple tomatillo, which is a variety of ground cherry. Some people say it tastes disgusting, some people say it tastes sweet, and I really hope this is the sweet variety. This is the first year growing it here, and let's see how it turns out. So now let's move on to the third planter. The third planter box has peppers. These are just hot cayenne peppers, and just nothing big about them. They're just 3 little peppers in this bed. We use leaf mulch because it's a very good mulch. It'll degrade once you don't need it. It's better than using colored mulch. Next planter here, this is cilantro, and you might wonder why is there so many less plants here? Sorry, my bad. That's because we did something called succession sowing, which means that we sow in another batch after 2 weeks, because cilantro bolts, and after it bolts you won't be able to eat it. We did something called succession sowing, so we get fresh batch of cilantro after the first batch is gone. So that's the science behind that. And over here, the next planter, this is the last final planter. This is a cherry tomato. It's Mexico midget cherry tomato. So it's just a very small cherry tomato. Then this is a Stupichka tomato. That's how the name is pronounced. Then next to it is another pineapple tomatillo. Also another name is like a ground cherry variety, but this one is much bigger. And over here, along this edge, there's some radish, and the radish probably won't produce any bulbs because radish is a cool season crop and really won't grow that well in the heat of the summer. And June 2nd is pretty hot actually. It's like 80 in the low 90s. So we'll see how that turns out once we harvest it. And over here, in this big pot, there is some cucumber. Once again, we've leaf mulched it. The plan is to trellis it up along that fence over there, or the cattle wire fence. You can see a cucumber has grown pretty well, and it's also a vine, so it'll take up a lot of space. So if you want to grow cucumber, have some space because they sprawl onto the ground. Over here, this berry is black nightshade, and it's related to tomatoes because tomatoes and nightshade berries are in the same family, the nightshade family. So, and it's a berry that it produces berries that are very small and sweet. Over here, this is Italian flatleaf parsley and Italian basil. And over there in these little 2 pots are pineapple and avocado, and also a mango, which has some winter damage done, if you can see those brown spots on the leaves. And over here, this is rosemary, and many of you might have heard of rosemary. It's a herb, and it smells very nice, very strong actually. Over here, this is Thai and purple basil, and maybe even a cross, because they are in the same container, and the seeds and pollen might have crossed, and the seeds might have fell and sprouted again. And those basils do need a trim. Okay, over here, these are date palms, and we're just growing these for hobbies, you know. Over here, these are the flowers that we're growing in this Sulfur Cosmos and Zinnia. And we're growing these because of bees, you know, to attract bees. And over here, in this planter, there are jalapeno peppers and a cayenne pepper over here. Now this variety is supposed to be different from the hot cayenne pepper. And over here, this is a lonely garlic. I originally planted many garlic plants, but this is the only one that survived, so I decided to just let it grow. And over here, we have some mixed greens, Siberian improved kale and Swiss chard, to be exact, green Swiss chard, although the stem looks red. Next to that, over here, this is Siberian improved kale, the same kale that you saw in the planter, but this is hydroponics. So it's growing like crazy. It's growing fast and it's growing big, and it's just amazing how fast it grew. And over here, these plants over here are curry leaves. Curry leaves are more also like a tropical plant, or they need more heat. And you can see how dense and dark green the leaves are. Some people might think these leaves smell bad, and some people might love the smell. That just depends on your opinion. You can see little suckers over there. They're like little baby plants. Over here in this pot, there are some ridge gourds, which is also another vine. So, you know, it's like a creeper, and it produces gourds that have ridges on them, hence the name ridge gourd. You can see here, this is the trellis that we're making for the ridge gourd. And so we have lots of projects going on right now. Over here, this is banana. How can we grow banana in zone 7? There's a trick to that, which we'll show you soon. You can see there's the big banana over here. This is the largest banana that we have. And then next to it, there is the medium banana, this is the medium banana, and then over here is the small banana. It's actually a sucker, and it's a sword sucker. And there's two different types of suckers, water sucker and sword sucker is the more faster growing one, which is what you see here. Those are our banana trees. Over here, this is our back garden. These are just some bottle gourds, and bottle gourds are another type of vining plant. And over here, we just planted some marigolds here for better pollination. And back there's some cantaloupes, my bad. And cantaloupes are a melon, if you've never tried that before. Over here, this is a very small orchard of one. This is a Belle of Georgia peach. Peach is a good variety to grow, a good plant to grow because it's self-pollinating. Now there's some red spots here, or red leaves here, and I think this is because of transplant shock. If you know what this is, please let me know, because I want to treat it. I don't want my peach tree to die. So, moving on to the main garden, you might see some trash bags here and there, and those are bags of leaf mulch. And over here, this is Alaska. The pea variety here is Alaska, and it's like obnoxiously large. The plant, not the peas. The peas are pretty small, but the plant itself is like so big, and it has produced a lot of pea pods over here. We have to contain it with this rope, because that's how crazy it went. It was invading the tomatoes over there. So, and you can see we also kind of put the rope around here and through these trellises, because that's how crazy it went. And we had to put these trellises up kind of early too. And over here, these are 3 tomato varieties we have. Rutgers, which is determinate, Better Boy, and Early Girl are indeterminate. Indeterminate means it keeps on growing until the growing season is done, and determinate kind of stops at one point. So over here, you can see there's the little tomato over there in that corner. That's actually Mexico midget cherry tomato. It might be a little hard to see because they're all like dense and lush, but that was the cherry tomato, same one that was outside. You see how big these are. These are like almost 6 feet tall, so it's very tall. And then over here in this bed there are okra varieties, which are Red Burgundy and Clemson Spineless. The Red Burgundy you can tell because the stems are red, and the Clemson Spineless, which is over here, you can see the stem is green. And over here, this is eggplant, Black Beauty, that's the variety, and we put these bottles here. These bottles have borax because we have an ant/aphid problem. And over here, these are Roselle. Another common name for them is Gongora or Sorrel, and Gongora is a Telugu word for them. They produce little flowers if you have a long enough growing season. Over here, these are more eggplants. Black Beauty, same one there. Over here, some crookneck and straight neck squash. They're also growing pretty well, and you can see they're similar to zucchini, which I'll show you soon. Then another eggplant over here, and we just kind of scatter these eggplants around. You can see another one over there. Then next to them, over here in these little seed starting trays, are some more Clemson spineless okra. And these are just some seed starts that we have, and another flower which is called purple alyssum, and some bitter gourds and a bottle gourd over there. And over here, this is a lemon tree. Take 10 years to produce fruit, and that's even a maybe. Over here, these are some cucumber varieties called sambar cucumber, and another name for them is dosakai, which is a name they use in India commonly. And some more cantaloupe that you seed started here. And then in that little cup, that is Thai red chili. And over here, these are bush beans. They grow like a bush, hence the name bush beans, and they get really big. And over here, these are pole beans. This is the hyacinth bean. Another name is flat beans. You can see that's grown up pretty tall. It's almost halfway up the trellis. So we want to kind of train that so it takes up use of the growing room, or else it'll get crazy. So that's this bed, and now if you come over on this bed, this is another pole bean, and this is called a red noodle bean. And once again, it's climbing up because it's similar to the hyacinth bean. And over here, these are Detroit dark red beet, and you can see how big the leaves are. Also, it's also another cool season crop. And over here, this is little marvel peas, and then you can see they're much shorter. These are about 3 to 4 feet, and those are like way taller, like about 6 feet. Over here we have our scarecrow, and we just used like bamboo sticks and some old clothes and a doll. And over here, these are some more peppers, bell peppers and cayenne peppers, and another bell pepper. Oh, that's just a quick rapid fire over there. And then over here, these are some greens, collard greens. And then these are zucchini, so you can see they kind of resemble the squash, and these leaves are huge. Sadly, you can't eat them. We have a cucumber beetle problem, and this is a cucumber beetle. They could be striped or spotted, so you want to look out for those. Over here, this is our compost bin. It's a tumbler model, so you need to tumble it about every 1 to 2 days. You can see this is our batch that's composting right now, and over here, this is the batch that is almost done composting. It doesn't really look that good though. Oh well, and you can see the clock. Alright, over here, this is our irrigation system. We're not fully done setting it up, but we're almost done, and this is supposed to like be automated so that we can just control it from inside the house, and then it'll just water the plants as like a command. And it just takes the water from the hose and then brings it into the garden. This is our rain harvesting system. And then you can see here in between, we didn't weed this area, and this is what will happen if you become lazy. So you want to weed your area every now and then, about every 2 weeks. You could see if I open the tap, some water comes out. I don't want to open it all the way, or else like water would come gushing out. And the total capacity is 110 gallons because each barrel contains 55 gallons. And I forgot to mention that tree swallows made a nest in our nest box. Anyways, thank you for watching. This is Grow & O, reminding you to grow young and grow old. See you next time. Bye.